Hi, I'm Kris Roberson, Master Instructor for Best Incorporated. In this video, we'll be talking about the IPC certifications. What are they? Why would you benefit from a certification? And how can you obtain your certification? First, what is an IPC certification? IPC certifications were founded on the principle of teaching people in the electronics industry how to read, navigate, understand, and apply several of the IPC standards documents to everyday activities in the manufacture of electronic devices. Navigating the standards requires an understanding of the structure of the standard. Each document is published with paragraphs and subparagraphs of content and criteria. By learning the structure and the relationship between the paragraphs and subparagraphs, the certified document user can be confident that the information sought is easily accessible. Understanding the criteria is a bit more in-depth. What are the reasons the criteria is as it is published? What was the document development committee thinking or seeing as a failure mechanism for the criteria? Understanding the why of the criteria and the background of the decisions made by the committee is just as important as the letter of the criteria. Finally, certification is a method of proving that the individual is proficient in the use and application of the individual standard. By obtaining the certification, this individual has proven to be capable of understanding and applying the criteria to the level set by the training committee and industry representatives. Next, why is a certification beneficial? As mentioned previously, a person who holds an IPC certificate has proven through the completion of testing and any applicable practical workmanship projects to be able to understand and use the standard for its intended purpose. This gives the individual confidence in the daily work, confidence that the completed item will function for the intended life of the product. A certification is also a common level of understanding and application of the standards to a level that has been determined acceptable by the industry in general. A company can know that an IPC certified individual has proven to be capable of producing an acceptable product. This saves the company from having to develop, maintain, teach, and test individuals who work for the company. Finally, IPC has data that shows companies who have certified individuals and who follow the IPC standards produce better quality assemblies with less scrap or failures. The bottom line is the small investment in a certification means lower cost and higher production. So what certifications are available and how does one obtain a certification? IPC certifications exist for several IPC documents. The most used programs are to certify individuals to the IPC A610 Acceptability of Electronic Assemblies and the J Standard 001 Requirements for Soldered Electrical and Electronic Assemblies. The IPC A610 is the visual acceptance criteria for an assembly. It answers the question of what should my assembly look like to be acceptable? Through written criteria, pictures, and illustrations, the 610 guides the user to a minimum acceptable condition for any assembly to function for the intended life of the product in its service environment. Anything less than acceptable may mean the failure of that assembly. The J Standard 001 is related to the 610 because the J Standard 001 is the answer to what should my assembly process be capable of achieving. The criteria in the J Standard 001 is used at each step of the manufacturing assembly process to evaluate and monitor those steps. By ensuring that each step is in control, the results of a good product is more likely to be achieved. The J Standard 001 Space Addendum Training and Certification has a short presentation and exam familiarizing users to the differences in requirements between the base J Standard 001 and the requirements for spaceborne assemblies. After the assembly has been evaluated according to the 610, if any problems are found, the IPC 7711-7721 guidelines for the rework, modification, and repair of electronic assemblies can come into use. The 7711-21 is a collection of procedures that have been proven to achieve the successful repair and modification and rework of assemblies. The procedures have been tested by the industry professionals and proven effective. The certification program for the 7711-21 guides individuals through many of the procedures as well as the use of the document. The certified individual proves through written exams and extensive hands-on activities to be capable of rework, repair, or modification of the electronics assemblies. Another standard that has training and certification is the IPC WAMA A620, Requirements and Acceptance Criteria for Cable and Wire Harness Assemblies. The 620, like the 610, contains acceptance criteria for wires and cables. In addition, the 620 contains the process requirements for the wire and cable assemblies, just like the J Standard 001 has the process requirements for circuit board assemblies. The 620 has an optional hands-on training certification to train and certify individuals as capable of producing acceptable wire or cable harnesses. In addition, the 620 also has an extensive certification for the understanding and application of the 620 Space Addendum. Where the J Standard 001 Space Training and Certification Program is just lecture and exam, the 620 is lecture, exam, and several days of intensive practical projects. The remaining training programs are for the IPC A600 Acceptability of Printed Boards and the IPC 6012 Qualification and Performance Specification for Rigid Printed Boards. These two documents are closely related and help achieve the correct performance of the printed board itself, as well as the visual and cross-sectional assessment of the board. While not as widely used as other programs, they are just as important for the ultimate goal of an acceptable, functional electronic assembly. Finally, how does one go about obtaining the certification for any of these programs? Best Incorporated is a licensed training center with knowledgeable and highly experienced Master IPC trainers, or MITs. MITs are individuals who have proven an expert level of knowledge in the standards and any practical processes used in the electronic industry. We can train and certify individuals in all of the IPC programs. Best's MITs will use the IPC published training slides to walk each certification candidate through the content of the standards, as well as present personal experiences in the use of the standards. The successful candidate will not only achieve a certification, but have a better understanding of the why behind the criteria. Best's instructors will demonstrate hands-on procedures in a manner that will allow candidates to improve the practical skills in assembling, reworking, or repairing electronic assemblies. Some courses, like the training and certification for the IPC A610, IPC A620, and IPC 6012, are lecture classes with computerized exams to measure the candidate's ability to apply the criteria. Other classes, like the J Standard 001, the IPC 7711-21, and the optional 620 modules, are a combination of lecture, exams, and hands-on projects. As mentioned, the IPC WAMA A620 is a hybrid of the two classes. The basic certification to the 620 document is a lecture class. There's an additional optional hands-on course for the assembly of wire harnesses, an additional lecture, exam, and practical evaluation for the 620 Space Addendum. Contact Best through our website to learn about your options for certification and to schedule your next class. I'm Kris Roberson. Thanks for watching. Visit and follow us on our YouTube channel, Soldering Geek, for more videos. For training classes, supplies, and more, visit our website, www.solder.net.